the full moon in Taurus, coming up Friday, November 15th. Now, Taurus is known for its ability to find security and stability and groundingness and pleasure. It's known for being a very grounded earth sign, taking things slow, being very practical, very organized, but also creating space for pleasure and fun and enjoyment. When I was first thinking of this Taurus full moon and the energy around it, I envisioned this wet dog shaking its body, shaking all its fur, trying to get dry. And the message that came along with that was to get grounded in yourself, in your confidence, in your values, and you won't be so easily shaken. It kind of feels like that wet dog shaking is going to be the rest of the year. Like there's going to be a lot of things shaken up, a lot of things moving around, transforming, shifting in your life. There's going to be a lot of movement, and not necessarily in a bad way, but in a good way. We're shaking, we're creating space for new energy to flow in, for new excitement and joy and inspiration to move in. But of course, you need to shake some things off, right? And let some things go. And so with that, I'm getting the more you ground and solidify and secure yourself in your values and in your confidence in yourself, the easier it is for you to navigate and stay still during the turbulence or during the shakeup. Because if you become so confident in yourself and in your values, then you're not really easily shaken. You know, you stand for what you stand for, and it's not so easy to move you. But if you don't stand for anything, and if you don't know what your values are, you don't set boundaries, you don't have much confidence or esteem in yourself, you're able to just be washed around, which can be confusing around times of transformation and change, because you're shifting and you don't know where to shift, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to be if you don't have already a solid foundation of how you want to be, who you want to be, how you want to play out your values. And so around this full moon time, get comfy in confidence, get comfy in security and stability in self and your external environment. Get very clear on your values, because sticking to that is really going to help propel you forward. So let's dive into our full moon reading. Alrighty, so let's get in to our full moon reading. Okay, we're going to pull 3 cards for opportunity, and then 3 cards for potential obstacles, what to look out for. Okay, we have the moon. Ooh. The moon, this one came out in a previous reading. The moon, the Knight of Needles, and the 7 of Potions. Okay. And then we have the Tower, haha. The 5 of Needles, and the Queen of Presents. Okay. I mean, often our obstacles are all in our mind space. It's often our mental thoughts that are the obstacles to our opportunities. And let's just see at the bottom of the deck is the 10 of Needles. Yeah. So this pin needle essentially resembles your mind, and all of these pins, these needles, are the thoughts that are corroding your mind. And this can be a representation of so much mental energy, so many thoughts, so many fears, so many things keeping you up at night, things perhaps making you anxious, because there's just a lot going on in your mind. So first, let's look into opportunities. So we have the Moon card, and this is giving me the vibe of you having like gone into your shadows, you having gone into those dark parts of you that you were a bit afraid to feel or a bit afraid to see. It's like you've come out and you've brought light to places that were dark. I'm getting like these little jack-o'-lanterns, like once they didn't have any light in them, and now they're like lit up. So it's like you've done the work of bringing a lot to the surface, My heart's like beginning to race a little bit. Just feeling this energy. But you've succeeded a lot in recognizing and accepting parts of you that once you shunned. And with this acceptance and recognition of yourself, you've grown into a lot more confidence. Like before you used to fear this energy. Like once you were afraid to accept the parts of you that were shamed, but now you're like owning it. And with that, you're gaining so much personal power through owning your shit and owning your darkness and owning your flaws. And it's like you've befriended this devil, this monster inside of you. And the Seven of Potions, this is about having so many options available to you. And this could be both like you're feeling very excited about all the possibilities, or this could mean like you're a bit anxious about all the possibilities that you've opened up for yourself because you've done so much of the work. Because a lot of the times we block off opportunities, we block off new pathways, we block things off because we've blocked off a part of ourselves. And in order to unlock new pathways, new friendships, new relationships, new opportunities, we have to unlock parts of ourselves. And so, because you've done so much of the work of unlocking, accepting, recognizing parts of yourself, it's like you've opened up so many pathways. And so, this feels like fears of like the worst case scenario happening, or like the tower moment. I want to get a clarifier on the tower. Because usually when we're at the precipice of like our next level or that next dimension or that next way of being, our fears will come up to try and prevent us from making that last leap because we get out of our comfort zone, right? And you've already left the comfort zone. You've already done a lot of the digging, a lot of the hard work. And so you're right here, like the Queen of Presents. She's there ready, waiting for you with that cake or that pie in her hand. She's ready, Mrs. Claus. She's ready to gift that all to you. But then this comes up right before you like make it to the finish line or make that last leap. So what's this tower about? And the Five of Needles, it's like the worst thing coming up, or like your fears might be like really heightened right now, and your mind might make it out to be like it's something to really be concerned about. But in reality, it's just your mind playing tricks on you because it knows, your ego knows that it's on the precipice of something new. And for that to happen, you have to shift, right? And you transform, and parts of your ego die when you transform and make really long-lasting shifts. And of course, your ego doesn't want to die. So what does it do? It creates all the fears, it creates all the things to hinder you from taking the leap so that it doesn't. So parts of the ego don't die. But okay, the Ace of Wands, see, yeah, a new beginning is right there. A new, passionate, fiery, exciting beginning is right there on the other side of this fear. But what is the fear? What is this tower? The Chariot. Fear of moving forward, fear of change, I'm getting fear of intimacy randomly, that came up. Or fear of deepening, because the Chariot is a watery card. I believe Cancer rules that card. And so watery emotions. Perhaps there's a fear of relationships changing. Perhaps there's actually a fear of deepening connections because vulnerability might feel scary. Or healthy relationships might feel scary. And so I'll get one more. Let me get one more, please. Yeah, the Nine of Wands. It is okay to put down your past. The past is not going to repeat itself. And sometimes we hold on so tightly to negative, quote unquote, beliefs of money or relationships or success. Holding on to those negative beliefs, those false beliefs, it keeps us small, and small feels safe. And so our minds, in order to keep us safe, it'll want to attach to these old beliefs, these old stories, to keep us small and safe. Because once we make that leap, we're open to so many opportunities, so much newness, right? And then we have to say goodbye to this. And so right now, around this full moon, there might be a lot of old fears coming up. But assure yourself that you've done the work. You've done the work. And it is okay to put down the past, to put down old stories, and truly create a new reality. Truly create new stories for yourself of how you want it to move forward. I think around this time, you're going to experience this tower moment, this like worst case scenario, this thing happening to show you how like unscary it actually is. So for instance, if you fear a deepening relationship with your partner, perhaps around this time, you're going to experience that deepening relationship, or that relationship deepening rather. You're going to experience how that feels, and it might feel uncomfortable and weird and awkward because it's not something you're used to. But then it's going to show you how unscary, what's the word for that? But it's going to show you like how not scary it actually is. So then it can calm your mind, can calm your thoughts and your worries because you've experienced a thing that you're most scared of. And you realize that it's not as scary as you make it out to be. Because our mind always tricks us into believing that things are like way scarier than they actually are. And once again, that's a safety mechanism. And so actually experiencing the thing that you're afraid of, that helps you move through it. It helps you move through the fear. This is an exciting time though, because as I was mentioning before, with getting more confident in yourself and growing your self-esteem and getting more solidified in your values, this is what you've been doing, right? And so now you've like befriended and accepted a lot of the parts of you, and that helps build your confidence and helps build your self-esteem. And the more you deepen in those values and your values, and the more confident you get in yourself, the easier it is for you to navigate because you're not swaying in any which way. You're stable and secure in yourself. And even through this chariot energy, through like the movement of going forward, deepening relationships, getting a lot more intentional, putting down these fears, all of this, moving through all of that is going to be a lot easier if you're solidified in yourself. And so moving through this fear, knowing that you've already done a lot of the shadow work, you've already done a lot of healing work. Once you begin to love and accept yourself, moving through fear is still tricky. It can still be hard, but knowing that you are there for yourself, knowing that you love yourself and everything is going to be okay at the end of the day, the more you truly are your own cheerleader, that love and acceptance and compassion, that helps you move through fears. Because it's when we abandon ourselves moving through fears, that's when it can get tricky. Because then we start doubting ourselves, or we start criticizing ourselves, judging ourselves, put ourselves down, we belittle ourselves. We might not necessarily have the mental, emotional capacity or strength to move through fears if we're not loving on ourselves and accepting ourselves. And so through this Taurus time, really grounding in yourself, your confidence, your values, it's going to help you get to this Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Presents, Santa, Mrs. Claus. And she's ready. She wants to give you the pie. She's ready when you are. So you got this. So continue to love on yourself, accept yourself, have compassion as you move through the fear. Remember, it's never as scary as we make it out to be. So you can put your mind to rest and have a lovely full moon. If the video resonated with you, make sure to like, more thumbs, or more thumbs up. Comment if this reading applies to you and your situation. Let me know your specifics. Let me know the specifics of your situation. And I'm sending you all love and light as usual. Happy full moon.